Wake up.
Karma Dark World caught me completely off guard. Marketed as a cinematic first-person psychological thriller, it turns out to be far more ambitious and emotionally affecting than I could have imagined. The debut game from Shanghai-based Pollard Studio offers a surreal and haunting experience that blends political and identity crisis with psychological horror into an experience I won't soon forget. With clear ties to 1984 in Brazil, the game uses a dream logic found only in David Lynch's films. And it's one of the most striking narrative games I've played in years.
Oh my.
You play as Daniel McGovern, a Rome agent for Leviathan Corporation's Thought Bureau. Set in an alternate 1984 East Germany, Leviathan governs through control and surveillance, using propaganda and memory invasion to maintain near total control, sold to the masses as the path to utopia. Daniel is tasked with diving into the memories of a suspected criminal, Shawn Mendes, who's accused of stealing a mysterious device called the miniature Dyson. But as Daniel digs deeper, he begins to question not just Shawn's motives, but his own reality. What begins as a detective story spirals into something far more abstract and emotional. Daniel enters his suspects' minds in search of clues and uncovers layered metaphors of trauma, loss, and guilt. The more you explore, the more unstable the world becomes, both narratively and visually. What grounds all of this is Daniel himself. His internal struggle creates a strong anchor, even as the world literally falls apart. He's duty-bound to serve Leviathan. It's all he's ever known. But this investigation gives him a reason to question who he is and why he exists. While Karma Dark World is listed as a walking simulator, I feel that label sells the experience short. The gameplay focuses on exploration and observation, but it's executed with intention and artistry. Every sequence pushes the story forward, creating a slow-burning sense of unease and curiosity. There's no dead air, just constant meaningful progression. And while there's no combat and only a few fail states, that doesn't mean it lacks tension. You'll navigate puzzles, symbolic vignettes, and shifting environments. One standout moment has you guide two glowing orbs through a maze, a visual metaphor for two lovers trying to connect in a cold, uncaring world. And in another, you dive into a suspect's subconscious and uncover something truly terrifying and unexpected. These moments keep the experience varied and unpredictable. Some are quiet and contemplative. Others are intense and nerve-wracking. If you're here for strong storytelling and characters, this game delivers. Visually, Karma Dark World is a knockout. Built in Unreal Engine 5, it constantly plays with space, light, and geometry to reflect the mental state of its characters. Brutalist offices dissolve into digital voids. Warm memories twist into nightmares. You're never quite sure what's real, and that's the point. What's especially impressive is the variety. The environments shift often and dramatically, and the transitions from realistic spaces to abstract dreamscapes are handled with cinematic flair. Facial animations are unusually strong for an indie game, and they really help sell the emotional moments. It's hard to believe this is Pollard Studios' first game. It looks and feels like the work of a veteran studio. The atmosphere is reinforced by excellent sound design and voice acting. The score leans into ambient and industrial textures, often understated but rising to emotional swells when it matters. But overall, the soundscape and voice acting is stellar. Every character feels authentic and well performed, from Shawn's broken, weary voice to the eerie AI known as Mother.
Welcome. I am Mother.
It's rare for indie titles to nail voice acting this well, and it's just another area where Karma truly shines.
You lied to me!
Mother?
Will I die?
Take us out of here!
Karma Dark World packs relevant and powerful themes into its 5 to 6 hour runtime. Surveillance, corporate overreach, addiction, and loss of identity are woven throughout. And none of the topics they address feel heavy-handed or mired in over-exposition. You're not just told about the loosening of control over a character, you experience it as the world bends around you, deteriorating the sense of self. It also poses larger philosophical questions. What parts of us are shaped by external forces that we aren't conscious of? What freedoms are we willing to give up for the promise of a better life? Despite the game's cold dystopian shell, there's a surprising tenderness to the story. Beneath all the paranoia and propaganda, the narrative explores love, vulnerability, and hope, however fragile those things may be in its world. Karma Dark World isn't an experience that pushes adrenaline-fueled gameplay. It instead offers introspection, atmosphere, mood, and emotional resonance. And in that, it knocks it out of the park. It's smart, weird, and surprisingly moving. It's the kind of game that leaves you staring at the credits wondering what you just experienced, and itching to dive back in to catch anything you missed now that you have a better handle on the story. It won't be a game for everyone. If you prefer combat and action and don't care much for a narrative in your games, this probably isn't for you. It's also quite abstract and surreal at times, and if you don't enjoy that, well, you probably won't like Karma. But that aside, if you do love experiencing a strong narrative and cinematic gameplay, you owe it to yourself to experience this gem. I hope plenty of people take the opportunity to go along for the ride. Pollard Studio came out swinging with their debut title, and I'll be thinking about Karma Dark World for a long time.
Good luck, Daniel.
Requesting suspension of brain dive.